My evil stepmom manipulated my dad, drained my money, so I destroyed her lies one night for all. I never thought I'd become the kind of person who plans revenge down to the smallest detail. But life with my stepmother didn't really leave me with a lot of healthy options. You either learned to survive, or you got swallowed whole. And for a while, I was definitely the one getting swallowed. My mom passed away when I was 13. It was sudden and it shattered everything. For a couple of years, it was just me and my dad trying to figure things out. We weren't perfect, but we were close. He listened to me. He cared. That changed when he met Clarissa. Clarissa came into our lives like a soft breeze. Gentle voice, warm smile, always saying the right things. She was everything my dad thought he needed. Within a year, they were married. She brought along her daughter, Brielle, who was my age and immediately acted like she owned the place. At first, I tried. I really did. I thought maybe we could be one of those blended families that actually worked. I was polite, I shared. I kept my head down. That didn't last. The first red flag was small. My clothes started going missing. Then my skincare. Then money, loose cash I kept in a jar. Every time I asked Brielle about it, she'd roll her eyes and say I was paranoid. And somehow, Clarissa always showed up at the exact moment to back her up. "Why would Brielle take your things?" she'd say sweetly. "She has her own." But I'd seen her wearing my stuff. I knew. Then the narrative started to shift. Suddenly I was forgetful, messy, disrespectful. If something went missing, it was because I lost it. If something broke, it was because I was careless. It didn't matter what I said. Clarissa always had a calm, reasonable explanation that made me look like the problem. And my dad believed her. That hurt more than anything else. I remember one night, I found my missing hoodie in Brielle's closet. I brought it out, holding it up like proof. "This is mine," I said. Brielle shrugged. "No, it's not. It literally has my initials stitched inside." Clarissa walked in, took one look and sighed like she was exhausted with me. "You two need to stop fighting over clothes. It's childish." "I'm not fighting," I said, my voice shaking. She took it. "Enough," my dad cut in. "I don't want to hear it." And just like that, I was the problem again. Things escalated slowly, almost strategically. Clarissa never pushed too hard at once. She just kept nudging the story in a direction where I was difficult, ungrateful, unstable. By the time I was 17, my dad barely questioned anything she said about me. That's when the money started disappearing in larger amounts. I had been saving for college since I was 15, working part-time, tutoring, selling things online. It wasn't a lot, but it was mine, or at least I thought it was. Clarissa began asking for small contributions. "Just for groceries," she'd say, or "We're a family, we all help." I didn't want to cause problems, so I agreed. But the amounts kept increasing. Then one day, I checked my savings and realized almost half of it was gone. I confronted her when we were alone. "You've been taking my money," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She didn't even flinch. "I've been managing the household." "That's not yours to manage." Her expression shifted slightly. Not angry, not defensive, just colder. "You live here. You eat the food. You use electricity. Don't act like you're above contributing." "I already contribute." "That's not what this is." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You should be very careful about how you speak to me." That was the first time I felt something click into place. Not fear exactly. Awareness. This wasn't misunderstanding. This was control. After that, things got worse. Brielle lost expensive items and somehow they ended up in my room. Clarissa started keeping track of my behavior, casually mentioning to my dad that I was staying out late or skipping responsibilities. None of which was true. Then came the breaking point. One evening, my dad sat me down with that disappointed look I had grown to hate. "Clarissa says money has been going missing from the house," he said. I actually laughed because it was so absurd. "You can't be serious." "This isn't a joke. She's the one taking my money." "Enough," he snapped. "I don't want to hear you blaming her for everything." That was the moment I realized I was completely alone in that house. So I stopped trying to prove my innocence. Instead, I started collecting proof. It began with small things, taking pictures of my belongings, noting when they went missing. Then I started keeping digital copies of my bank activity. I changed my habits, became quieter, more observant. Clarissa seemed pleased. She thought she had finally put me in my place. But I was just getting started. The real breakthrough came when she convinced my dad to create a shared account for household expenses. She framed it as a way to teach me responsibility, to prepare me for adulthood. What it actually did was give me visibility. I could see everything. At first it looked normal. Bills, groceries, utilities. But then I noticed patterns. Transfers that didn't match any expenses. Small amounts at first, then larger ones. All going to an account under Brielle's name. I didn't react. I didn't confront them. I documented. Screenshots, dates, amounts. I even managed to record a video. One night when I caught Clarissa logging into the account and making a transfer. She thought everyone was asleep. I also started recording conversations when I could, especially when she slipped and dropped the sweet act. "You should be grateful," she told me once. "Without us, you'd have nothing." That one stayed with me. I spent months building that file. Every piece of evidence carefully saved, backed up, organized. And all the while, I played the role she wanted me to play. Quiet, defeated, harmless. Then came the opportunity. A big family dinner. My dad's relatives. People Clarissa desperately wanted to impress. She spent days preparing, making sure everything was perfect. I helped, of course. Smiled when needed. Stayed invisible. Dinner went smoothly. Laughter, stories, compliments. Clarissa was glowing, soaking it all in. Then my dad mentioned finances. Just a casual comment about things being tighter than expected. Clarissa laughed lightly. "We just need to budget better." And that was it. That was the moment. I stood up, calmly walked to the living room, and connected my phone to the TV. "I think I can help with that," I said. Everyone went quiet. I started with the bank records. Clean, simple, undeniable. Then I showed the transfer patterns. Then the account under Brielle's name. Clarissa's smile disappeared. Brielle started shaking her head, already forming excuses. Then I played the video. No sound in the room except her own voice, her own actions playing back at her. Finally, I played the audio recordings. By the end of it, no one was speaking. I looked at my dad. "You said money was going missing." He didn't say anything. He just stared at the screen. Clarissa tried to recover, tried to spin it into some misunderstanding, but it was too late. The damage was done. That night, everything unraveled. Within days, the accounts were separated. Within weeks, my dad started asking questions he should have asked a long time ago. Within a month, he filed for divorce. Brielle lost access to the account, and let's just say, there were consequences for that. As for me, I left for university exactly as planned. My relationship with my dad is still complicated. Trust doesn't come back overnight, but he knows now, he sees it. And Clarissa? She lost the one thing she cared about most, control. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I just waited. And when the time was right, I ended it.